Welcome to my channel, Notorious Crafts. In this video, I will show you how you can make this miniature wooden dollhouse table from scratch in 1/12 scale. And here are all the supplies that you will need. You will need some wood glue, popsicle sticks, something to cut the wood with, sandpaper, an X-Acto knife. I have some square wood, which is going to become the legs of my table, and a large piece of wood that I found at the craft store. To know how big I was going to make this table, I just measured my actual kitchen table and then divided it by 12 inches since I am making this in 1/12 scale. So one side of my kitchen table is 36 inches, so divided by 12, that is 3 inches. So my piece of wood is slightly bigger, so I'm not going to cut that side, but this long piece, I'm going to cut it around the 5.5 inch mark. And that is because my actual kitchen table in real life is 66 inches long, and divided by 12, that gets me 5.5 inches. So I'm just going to mark the rest of this wood so I know where to cut it. And now I'm just grabbing my little handsaw and I'm going to cut it very carefully. You always want to be very careful with this part when using these little tools. I unfortunately do not have a big table saw that I can use, so I'm just using small hand tools. And now that I have this cut, I'm just going to grab some sandpaper and then smooth out these rough edges. For the table legs, I'm just going to use this piece of wood that is 1/4 of an inch thick, and I'm just going to cut it into 4 even pieces using this metal miter box that I have. After all 4 pieces are cut, I'm just going to smooth the rough edges on some sandpaper. Next, I'm going to make sure that each of the table legs lay flat at the bottom of the table. And then I'm going to grab my wood glue and get ready to apply it to the table legs. And to have my wood glue really close by, I place it inside of an old bottle cap that I just reuse and then use a toothpick to apply it. And then I use a toothpick to clean up some of the extra glue that came up on the sides. And here's how the table looks so far after all the wood glue dried. For the next step, I'm going to grab my popsicle stick and end up cutting it so that it'll fit nicely underneath the table. I cut the popsicle stick in half, and then now I'm gluing it underneath each side of the table. I let all the glue dry overnight, and here is how the table is looking now. I'm using this wood stain and poly that I found at Home Depot, and I'm going to cover the entire table with it. I'm also going to put on some rubber gloves so that I don't end up staining my hands with it. I also opened a window to properly ventilate from the smell of the wood stain. And now I'm just gonna dip my brush into the wood stain and just paint on a very thin layer onto the wood. I ended up grabbing a smaller brush so that I could get into the small corners as well as paint the table legs. After painting the stain, I let it dry overnight, and here is how the final table looks. It has a really nice shine to it from the gloss. I am really happy with how it turned out. I will probably end up making some chairs in some future videos, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you guys don't miss out on any other miniatures that I end up making. As always, thanks so much for watching, and see you guys in the next video.